I was asked to make a video about relationships, the horror. And I'm not the best person to ask about this, but I've received a butt ton of questions and I'm here to answer them for you. So let's jump right in, get started, and join me on this journey. Now this is one that I've been getting asked a bunch. Are you seeing anybody? No, I am not. What are the main things you look for in a partner? Despite the stereotypical attractive qualities, physically and aesthetically speaking, I actually look for a great personality and humor. He's gotta be comedic. He's gotta be able to make me laugh. What is the longest relationship you've been in? For me, it's been 4 years was the longest relationship I've ever had. What are relationship deal breakers for you? This kind of varies per relationship. Being too serious all the time has to be one of them, only because it starts eating at you the more serious you are. You just start like freaking out about everything because your mind is like one track at that point. And not giving enough time for your significant other is another one. Because I know that, despite the fact that everybody needs their time and their space to do what they want to in life, if you dedicate all of your time to that and barely any time to your significant other, especially when they're there in the same room as you, then it kind of gets annoying. Somebody who drinks all the time is a deal breaker. Or like when it comes to deal breakers, honestly, it's really hard for me to pinpoint what. Does it matter who says I love you first? No. How long do you think someone should wait before having sex? That depends on the two people that are in the relationship together. It could, be as early as a couple weeks after you start dating, depending on how long you've known this person. Or it could be, a couple months after you start dating. It could be a celibate relationship to where you wait until you get married. It's just dependent on those two people. How do you get over someone you thought was your whole world? This was a really, really hard one for me to answer, and I know that personally, without the pressure from my really close group of friends, I would probably, they're the ones that actually kind of bombarded me and pressured me to come out and have a good time with them. In my brain, it happened very fast, and I was like, you know what, fuck this last dude. I would say have a close group of friends, if not like a really good best friend. If my best friend was probably, still in this state, I would be out with her all the time, trying to, kind of get on my path. But it actually didn't take that long for me to get back to myself, and I'm actually more of myself now than I was, months ago or last year even. I would say get your life back on track. First and foremost, you are more important. I know I have a lot of shit going on, like with YouTube. I had, a couple stores open. I did shut one of them down just because it was really overwhelming. I have my art, shipments, yada yada and so forth. So having your mind being berated by a lot of creativity was really, really good for me. It kind of keeps me back on my life track, my life goal to, be successful in what I'm doing later on in life. Just keeping your mind busy is the best thing. Have you ever been cheated on, and how do you deal with that? To this day, I don't know if I've ever been cheated on. It actually came really, really, really close the time that I did find out that he did that twice. This was many, many years ago. The only thing that I did about it was ask him. It was just like, yo, what's going on here? The best thing that I do when there's a situation that I'm not exactly sure of is just come out and ask that person, who is this? Or, if you see something posted publicly, be like, what did you mean by this? I ask. I'm very, very blunt and out there, and I'm a bold person. Are looks important in a relationship? Wouldn't date anybody that I didn't find attractive. Are relationships ever worth it? No, just kidding. They can be, I guess. Are you in love? It's inside me every day. How do you deal with jealousy either on your part or theirs? Much like I said earlier, I ask. I'm not really a jealous type of person. Say if I was dating somebody and they started talking to somebody else and it didn't really seem kind of like a friendship, I would ask. You just have to trust trusting is huge in a relationship. How much should you support each other, mentally, emotionally, financially, or otherwise? You should be very, very supportive of each other, unless it's something like drug dealing, and then you just should take his money. How do you respect your partner's alone time? Once again, it varies. Some people's alone time have to deal with video games. I know that my alone, I don't really, unless I'm here at my house doing a lot of projects, I don't really have alone time. Like when I come home and if I'm not working on projects, then I'm playing video games. One of my past relationships, his alone time was, dealing with cars. You come home and see laid out lingerie, a Nerf gun, and a bottle of wine. Then you see a trail of rose petals. Which one of these 3 items do you follow? All 3, because I'm a boss. What does being in love feel like? And what was the last person you loved like? Falling in love, for me, is constantly having butterflies in your tummy. The last person that I fell in love, he started out very, very sweet, caring, and very nurturing, very, very sympathetic. He would always be there. He always knew how to cheer me up. He always knew how to make me smile. He always knew how to incorporate me on his projects and whatnot, and then it went downhill. There was a lot of verbal abuse, and it wasn't it was a very toxic relationship. What do you consider cheating? I know that I very, very jokingly put the term loosely out there when I'm in a relationship, and I like to make the joke of I'm cheating on you with Monster. One of my exes took the coffee one very funny, and he just kind of cracked up. Another ex of mine didn't. If you're lying to your partner about going out and seeing, say, like your ex or anything like that, to me, because I don't know, and if you refuse to talk about the subject, I will take that as cheating. It varies depending on the circumstance. This, I could not wait to answer. What is your idea of the perfect date? And I have been saying this for years. No shitting you on this one. My idea of the perfect date: ordering cheeseless pizza with a bunch of toppings and having a game night or a LAN party. As long as I get to spend time with my significant other, that is the best kind of date night to me. What is the sweetest thing anyone has ever done for you, and what is the sweetest thing that you have ever done for somebody else? There's been a lot of very sweet things that have been done for me. One of my exes, his way of showing care was via beneficial work to your life to make it easier. He worked on my car a lot without me asking. He would just surprise you with it would be the most random thing, but he would remember that you talked about it a month ago and you said that you needed it, and he would just surprise you and give it to you and be like, you said you needed this. The sweetest thing that I have ever done for anybody was, there's one time where I actually wrote for, I'm not much for Valentine's Day, but there was one year where I actually kind of went out and I did a bunch of origami hearts, and I don't remember if I only wrote a message in one of them or if it was in all of them, but yeah, there was a message hidden in there somewhere. Yeah, there was another time where I wrote a year's worth of notes for somebody that, yeah. And last but not least, your thoughts on love at first sight. I think that it happens. I mean, I can say that I've been in that boat. Obviously, things didn't work out or whatever, but it happens, and it happened, and it probably will happen again. I'm very, very bad at giving relationship advice. Honestly, what I choose to do is different from everybody else, and I kind of choose to stay away from the relationship thing, get my life back on track. And I've come to the realization that even hanging out with friends, I'm constantly asked, are you and so dating? Are you and so dating? No. Right now, I'm single, and I want to be single. Not to mention, I do have a crush. He doesn't know that I exist right now. So yeah, guys, that was the relationship advice for you. Like I said, I do apologize, but just remember that if you're going through a breakup or a hard time, there is, always something that can take your mind off of it. There's always going to be a positive outlook to everything. Just remember, you're fancy as fuck, and don't ever forget it. You can be the boss of your own self If I didn't have really, really great, awesome friends there to take my mind away from it and kind of push the positive back into me, I don't know actually how I would be right now. I would probably be the same way, it would have taken longer. Just know that if you're ever being verbally abused, or mentally abused, or physically abused, get out of that relationship. It is not healthy, it is extremely toxic, and you don't need it. You don't need that shit in your life. Fancy as fuck. So if you liked what you saw in the video, definitely click that thumbs up button for me. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I put out new videos every day, Monday through Friday. And I will see you guys in the next one. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns for another video, definitely leave those in the comment section below.